Gonna go ahead and start this recording here. Oh, I love it. Oh, thank you.
That's wonderful, Drew.
Yes, to serve. I love it. My family, my health, my lovely wife. Oh, thank you, Dr. Gold. You're welcome. You're happy, thankful for us, my kittens. Oh my gosh, kittens and patience. Yes. So you have kittens?
I have kitties.
Oh,
So
kitties. I was
my
like, oh my gosh, this has got to be very exciting having kittens around. Okay, well, we've got a couple more minutes here.
and I have
Yes,
access to share, right, with my screen.
you should.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you want to
Okay.
try that?
Yeah, let's just make sure everything's working.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let me do share and let's see if this is working. Yep. So go. It's working.
Perfect.
Now, yeah, okay. You want me to turn it off for right now?
Sure. You can, well, or you can just leave it up too, either way.
Okay. I'm glad it's working. Make sure I can see everybody too. Awesome. Okay.
There we go. All right. Well, I know we have several people signed up to jump on in, and we're just getting to the top of the hour here. So we'll give everybody another moment or so to get on, wrap up those meetings and get on our webinar here.
Yay. I just want to say how thankful and grateful I am to have all of you on this call today. It means so much. And I'm in Tampa, calling in from Tampa.
Awesome. We just need the other coast, and then we'll have the whole United States represented here.
It's funny.
Okay, it sounds like there's a catch up. Is there a catch up joke here that I'm not privy to?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
lots of catch-up jokes. Do you
That's
want to share?
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Drew and I, we have this insider in regards to ketchup because he says I eat ketchup with everything. Lots of seafood I eat ketchup with. And what does he do? He gets a big jug and I get him a big jug at the same time.
That's funny. All right.
So
Well, you've
the
definitely
last
got.
time I saw Gigi, I showed up, I went to a restaurant food supply place and got like this gallon can of ketchup for her. And then I wrote in the top, I hope this is enough to last you at least for a couple of days.
That's
I just,
hilarious. Oh my gosh.
I just want you to know we're not advocating for eating a lot of ketchup, but
No, yeah.
that's
Well, I'm sure you can make healthy ketchup
that's what I was gonna
too.
say, except if Susie will share her healthy recipes or we'll do a cooking in the kitchen, possibly, Drew, with healthy recipes for making ketchup. Cooking in the kitchen with Drew, healthy ketchup.
That sounds fun. Well, let's go ahead and get rolling here,
Okay.
everyone. I really want to honor your time. Thank you so much for tuning in to be with us today on this webinar. We're talking about doctor-approved, mom-tested smart eating hacks for busy people. Anybody busy out there? I know I'm busy. Everybody I know is busy. And so we are so excited to just bring you some great health hacks. We have a really special guest with us today, Dr. Gigi Sabat, and I'm going to go ahead and just introduce her as our MC here. So, Dr. Gigi Sabat is the CEO and founder of Life Services Center for America, LLC. She's a motivational keynote speaker, award winning author of Walk With Me and God First books that have been endorsed by Les Brown. Gigi is also the co author for several best selling book collaborations, and she's a life coach and a confidence coach. And so we are so excited to have Coach Gigi here with us. And Gigi, I'm going to pass it over to you so that you can go ahead and get us kicked off there.
Thank you, Susie. Thank you so much for the amazing introduction. It's such an honor to be here with you all today. And welcome everyone to the Doctor Approved Mom Tested Smart Eating Hacks for Busy People online nutrition webinar. Now, our goal in regards to this webinar is to create a fun, inclusive space full of compassion and science-based information. And now we will hear from Dr. Tanya Gold, and we will hear from Susie, our amazing host today as well. And then we will end with a Q&A segment. And now, at this time, I'd love to introduce Dr. Tanya Gold. Dr. Tanya Gold is a board-certified medical doctor who specializes in natural medicine. Today, she will share her creative solutions to eating well so you can keep it simple, affordable, and tasty. Now, when it's fun, it'll get done, is her motto. Again, that's when it's fun, it'll get done.
Get done.
She is also the co-host of Cooking in the Kitchen with Drew, her husband, on YouTube, where delicious meets nutritious. She's the author of 7 Habits of Extremely Happy People, Your Toolkit to Joyful Living, and the owner of Dr. Gold's Optimal Living Institute, a mecca of resources to live your best life. And she can be reached at Dr. Tanya Gold is excited to launch her online wellness courses. Details will be in the chat. Thanks so much. Welcome, Dr. Tanya Gold.
Thank you, Gigi. Thank you,
Welcome.
Susie, for having me today. So, and if we can put the link to the launch, if you don't mind, we can add that, Drew. I think you have the launch event, right? So I just want to welcome everybody. I'm so excited. And today we'll actually be talking about joyful eating. And I brought this little hat. I'm not going to wear it the whole time, but I think whenever you're cooking with your kids or your family, just make it fun. Because if you're celebrating, you're getting them involved and all that stuff, they're more likely to eat the food because they prepared it or they grew it. And if they're growing vegetables, it's nice to see where your food comes from rather than just like the supermarket. I remember asking some of my family members, I'm like, where do strawberries come? And I was asking my nieces, and they were about 6 years old, 10 years old, and they were like, Publix, or, the Piggly Wiggly. So now, when you can actually share with them the source of food and it's understanding its nourishment for our bodies. So let's see, I'm going to go to my share. Can everybody see the slides that I have up?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, cool. So first, this is something that I didn't know. I was just by a show of hands, or you can put in the chat. How many people knew it takes 10 to 15 tries of a new food to know if you like it? Anybody know that? 10 to 15. I honestly didn't know this. This is Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, but it's been revalidated many times, meaning if you try a food and you're like, I don't really like it. For me, I would just stop eating it, but you need to keep introducing it gently without like a push, just in a good high-spirited atmosphere. Maybe have it available in a bowl, especially if the kids are hungry. There's a fruit bowl, a vegetable tray. They're more likely to eat it if it's there. And again, making it with other foods that they enjoy, that can make a huge difference as well. So these are the guidelines. So and again, this is a rule of thumb for each child. It might be a little bit less if they're much younger, or newborns, of course, they're breastfeeding if possible. But guidelines, approximately 5 servings of fruits and vegetables per day for kids. And again, this is usually kids 4 and up, approximately. And then children, for adults, 8 to 10 servings. So about roughly double that, 8 to 10 servings of fruits and vegetables. A serving is the palm of their hand. So if you're looking at kids' servings, it would be the palm of their hand. For adults, it's the palm of your hand. And that's just a general rule of thumb. So even when we're looking at meat, about a deck of cards, that would be 1 serving. And if you're looking at the total daily calories, this is just a rough estimate. I'm going to break it down so it's a lot easier to digest, but it's roughly 20% protein, 30% fat, and 50% carbs. Again, this will vary based on different diets that people may be on, or if you're athletic, depending on what you're training for. I know Gigi's training for a triathlon, so her protein may be up if you're in a bodybuilding contest, if you need more muscle. Those types of things may vary, and also depending on any medical conditions you have too. So always check with your doctor. This is from Healthy Eating Research, and it's actually a really good resource for getting good rules of thumb of how much is a serving size for kids. I know you can use your palm, but they also have doled out like 2 sets of broccolis or one piece of fruit for an adult, so you can get a good idea. This is something that I came up with, the Dr. Gold's food pyramid. Just at the bottom, what we should abundantly have in our, and I know it's not the food, but it's hydration, is water, but with good electrolytes. And the reason for the electrolytes, it helps with blood flow to the brain. Because I know many people who've gotten dehydrated, that can affect your sensorium, your mental clarity. And also, if we're not getting enough fluids, we could, God forbid, pass out, and that's not good. So as much as we can, make sure you're hydrating, especially first thing in the morning. If you're going to work out, make sure you're hydrated, and then hydrating with electrolytes if you're outside, especially in the heat. And then fruits and vegetables, as we discussed above. Again, rule of thumb, about 8 to 10 servings for adults and about half that for kids. And then remember, fat, the healthy fats are good for us. So we want to have the almonds, the walnuts raw if possible, as long as there's no allergies, especially for the kids now. They're recommending to introduce peanuts early, so they're less likely to have an allergy. And then avocados are one of the best foods you can have. So we're going to share a special recipe dear to my heart with some coconut cream, and it's a little pudding that I came up with, but I'll share that in just a moment. Whole grains, so if you can get complex carbs, and also the whole grains like brown rice, wheat berry, quinoa, so good for the body. And they actually have whole grain type pastas now too, or vegetable pastas. So if your kids are really liking noodles, I'm a lover of noodles, this is a good option as well. And then go wild with your fish. You can do wild caught Alaskan salmon, cod, sardines. And remember, you can spruce it up if the kids don't like it or you don't like it. Sometimes introducing it, remember that 10 to 15 rule? You can just do a little bit at a time and mix it with their favorite foods. And I just want to share one of the recipes, going back to vegetables, is Brussels sprouts. So growing up, they boiled Brussels sprouts. Does anybody like boiled Brussels sprouts? No salt, no seasoning. I was like, oh, it looked like green mush. And I was like, no way, I'm not eating this. And I just said forever, I'm never going to have Brussels sprouts. Well, then my father-in-law a few decades ago said, you are going to try my Brussels sprouts. I said, no, but he said, I make them like potato chips. And he did. And we actually created in our YouTube channel, Cooking in the Kitchen with Drew, Brussels sprouts potato chip, and it was so good. So it's actually Brussels sprouts, but they make them so crispy with some olive oil, or maybe olive oil and rosemary and a little sea salt. And of course you can dress it up the way you like it. But it was so delicious, and it's good for you as well. Delicious and nutritious. The other part is protein. Again, that can vary based on the person, but approximately having a palm of your hand. Again, if you're trying to build some muscle, you might need more of this, but it's about roughly half your body weight in kilograms. Or again, if you're a bodybuilder or working to strength train, you might need about your body weight in pounds. So if you're 100 pounds, about 100 grams of protein. And then you can go wild with your spices. I love seasonings. Again, I would just limit the sugar and salt. But if you are going to do salt, Celtic or Himalayan, just because they're more mineral based. And these healthy herbs, mushrooms, so good. You probably have heard the lion's mane. And I know Susie will probably touch upon some of these as well. But again, going wild too with your seasoning. So you can definitely top it up. When I was training for my bodybuilding competition, my coach was like, you're just going to have plain chicken. And I was like, oh, boiled chicken all day? No way. So my husband was gracious enough to add in all these seasonings. I never felt deprived. The food was delicious. I had fish, I had vegetables, and it was so wonderful. So you can definitely, we have a lot of these recipes on our show, but it's so good to spice it up in a good way for your body. All right, I'm going to go to the next slide. So this is just an easy way, and you can literally just take a picture of this. It is on my website, which I'll include the link. Well, it's in there as well at Degoli, DGOLI.com. You just go under good health and you can find this. It's, I think, the second one under, but just half the plate should have some vegetables and some fruit. Now, fruit can be snacks as well. So at least half your plate should have some dark greens, green vegetables. A quarter of the plate should have some good protein. And again, if you're vegetarian, you can, again, use foods that are tempeh based, beans, anything that your body it agrees with you, you're not allergic to. And remembering to sometimes small amounts mix if you don't like it, 10 to 15 times using that rule. that you can start to like it. I didn't actually like chocolate mint, which it's not great in ice cream. Well, it is very delicious ice cream. But when I was younger, I didn't like it, and now I do. So trying some foods that maybe you didn't like before and then redressing them up, making them in a consistency that you like can help as well. And then those complex carbs for a quarter of that plate as well. So good. And quinoa, brown rice, this can be your breakfast too. We don't have to do traditional American breakfast. We know sometimes that's not as healthy for our bodies, but this can be really good. And then I just wanted to share Halloween's coming up. So uplifting costumes, anything that brings you joy, you can celebrate. And remember to nourish, eat food. I'm going to have a little acronym in just a moment called NICE. And let me just share this. For Halloween this year, if you want to, adding toys, stickers instead of candy can be a nice addition. We're actually going to have a healthy Halloween party at our house. So I'm really excited. Gigi's coming. Susie, you're welcome if you're able. And if anybody's local, let me know. But just, again, bring in the choices. Popsicles are a great option for foods, like made from real fruit can be a great option. Okay. And then golden nuggets. So remembering to engage in meal prep with your kids if you're working to get them to eat certain foods. Be patient. It takes time, 10 to 15 times to like a food. So just keep offering it with kindness and love and no pressure, because we know if it's pressure, sometimes they feel forced and they really stay away from that. But consider pairing it with foods that they already like and the consistency that they like it, or some seasonings. It's okay to dress up your vegetables. I put a little honey on it, or sometimes adding a little maple syrup just to sweeten it up. That's totally fine. And then just planning ahead, cooking in bulk can make a huge difference. I know Susie will talk about some of those foods as well. And I do have some events coming up. The Healing Circle, this Sunday. If you're able to make it, it's online. We're going to be doing some gentle movements and breath work. It's really important to bring in peace. And I know for food, I have patients that say, Dr. Gold, I eat when I'm bored. I eat when I'm stressed. And is there anybody in the room who stress eats at times? Maybe. Never thought of that. Just me. But honestly, it's a real thing. And if you're eating when you're not hungry, it's a practice to start creating some healthier options of what to do when you're not hungry. So maybe it's going for a walk or calling a friend. You can always get in touch with me. I'm happy to give some options for you. But just the idea of working through whatever is happening, healthy solutions without just eating it away, because we know that eating is honestly going to add sometimes more issues to that. So bringing in the love is the key. So asking yourself, am I actually hungry? Will this nourish my body and my soul with the foods that you're about to eat? And then will this energize me long-term? Because sometimes the foods, yes, it gives us energy short-term, but how are we going to feel later down the road, especially if it's a kind of a fried food. And this is not about never eating unhealthy. I get it. Sometimes you're on the road, things happen. Do your best. Try to pick choices that make sense for you. And then can you pick the better choice for where you're at right now? If you're at a restaurant, they don't have many options. What is the best choice for you at this moment? Or can I plan ahead and maybe eat a little bit more at home? I'm going to this party, and either not eat if you're really on some strict diets, or just some better options. Ask them. Sometimes off the menu, they have some vegetables that you can eat. Can you steam them instead of fry them? So some options there. So we're going to be doing Wellness University launch party. This is all these online courses that I came up with. That is going to be in person. So just a live event of the new era in wellness, of bringing health to the next level so you can get healthy and strong long-term. And these courses are up now on my website if you're interested. Okay, so I just wanted to thank you for letting me be part of this group. I did want to mention just 4 things I just came up with right before the call when I was going on my walk. It's called NICE, to be nice to yourself. So it's nourishing and nurturing food for your body. And then asking the question before you eat, the I is, what can I start doing for my health? C is consistency. Be consistent with whatever the healthy regimen. And if you get off track, just again, with gratitude and love, get back on track. That's the biggest thing. A lot of times we feel, oh, forget it. My diet's over. I ate 1 cookie. Well, 1 cookie is usually not going to ruin everything. It's when you keep going. You eat 2 or 4 or 6, and whatever you did in the past is the past. but moving forward is the key. And the E is enthusiasm and energizing foods. Educate yourself. I highly recommend a continuous glucose monitor to actually objectively test what you're eating with it'll tell you your blood sugar levels. So it's subjective. You'll really see how your body responds to the food you're eating, what you can get away with or not. But the nice part with that is with that feedback, you can use that to your advantage to put in more uplifting foods that'll actually nourish your body long-term and help you. So if you're dealing with diabetes or you're at risk for it, you can start getting away from, raising your blood sugars and having all the sequela of that, including brain problems or blood flow issues, kidney problems, and neuropathies and pain. So the nice part is as we're eating healthier, it's just going to nourish our bodies so we feel better, we have more energy, and we're able to sleep better and just be productive with our families, with our lives, doing the things we love to do. And I just want to thank you again for having me. Oh, one more thing. Sorry, this is the last part. This is a recipe. So this is coconut cream. So the simple recipe, 1 can of coconut cream with 3 tablespoons. And I have the recipe as a gift. So if anybody would like the recipe, just let me know. You can go ahead and reach me at Dr. Tanya Gold or Degoli. It's Dr. Gold at degoli.com, DGOLI.com. You can get the email for my website, and I can put it in the chat as well. But this is a chocolate pudding. It's yummy. Coconut cream, it's dairy-free. And then just 3 tablespoons of cacao. So we use a cacao powder. We actually got it from Cusco and Lima, Peru. So it's really authentic cacao powder. And just mix it together. Even if you don't have a blender, we use the blender here. But if you don't, you just stir it. And if you want to add a little sweetener, we added half a tablespoon of honey, but you can, add to taste. And then if you want to put a little cinnamon or ginger or vanilla, it's all yummy. So this is, I tried this. Let me try it right now. I don't have my husband gave me my spoon. Let me see. Really good. It's like, and you can freeze it into popsicles too. So it's nice little decadent little dessert that's almost like a chocolate pudding. Well, it is a chocolate pudding and it's dairy-free and good for the body too. Because of the coconut, you'll get some of the MCTs, the medium chain triglycerides, which could be anti-inflammatory. So Dr.
That
Gold's here.
looks amazing, Dr. Gold. I have a quick question for you. I'm curious, how do you see nutrition playing into your practice? Like, as far as what kind of results have you seen from patients that do change up their nutrition to kind of meet some of these requirements that you're talking about?
We're getting them off medications, which is the biggie. I see blood sugars normalizing, patients having more energy, sleeping better, their hormones are getting balanced. As a hormone expert, I help patients balance their hormones, but a lot of them sometimes are like, is there a natural without just giving you hormones? Is there some ways I can shift my diet? And absolutely, we know there's phytoestrogens in edamame, there's foods you can eat, tempeh, non-genetically modified soy products that can actually help the body to strengthen it. It's not going to increase risk. Studies have shown for breast cancer or other things like that. So there's a lot of good things you can start doing for your body that can be really helpful and that could energize you and reduce your risk for getting cancers, heart disease. According to the American Cancer Society, 1/3 of cancers are due to lifestyle causes, and including foods that we're eating. So just reducing that can make a huge difference. Just improving your consumption of healthy foods can make a huge difference. And it's baby steps. Everybody thinks I have to do all or nothing, but that consistency factor of just adding even one more vegetable can make a huge difference.
Wow, those are some powerful stories. And I know that you really do come from a position of looking at research. So we're never going to get fads with you, right? We're going to get information that we can really trust. So thank you so much for sharing that.
You're so welcome. And thank you for having me today. And thank you, Gigi.
Yes, and thank you, Dr. Gold, and I cannot wait to try it. Thanks so much.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have some.
Can't wait.
Yay.
We will hear from Susie, and then we will end with a Q&A segment here. Now, our next speaker is Susie, and Susie is a nationally board certified health and wellness coach, researcher, and mom. Susie knows that for most of us, the challenge isn't figuring out what to eat, it's finding the time and structure to make healthy habits part of real life. Now, she helps busy people and families take back control of their health with simple, practical strategies that actually fit into your day. Please welcome Susie. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Gigi. And Dr. Gold, I'll just have you remove sharing the
Oh,
screen.
yes. Yes, yes. Thank you.
Thank you for that. All right, everyone. Well, thank you for that wonderful introduction, Gigi. I will just go ahead and spotlight my video for everyone here. There we go. All right. Well, welcome again, everybody. I hope that this is just going to be a really impactful time for you. I feel like as a mom, as well as a health and wellness coach, there's a couple challenge areas that I think we can get really caught up in. One of them is breakfast, that first meal of the day. And then the next one is kind of ending the day, coming together and getting some healthy dinner in our bodies. So I really want to show you some health hacks here, some recipe health hacks that you can do. You can see these wonderful colors that I have here, and that really is so key. Dr. Gold talked about kids needing 5 servings of fruits and vegetables a day and adults needing 8 and up servings a day. And I couldn't agree with that more. So I think that one of the really important things is that we want to get diversity as well as the quantity in there. And so what I'm going to show you today is an easy breakfast meal. So shakes can be shakes or smoothies or whatever you want to call them. They can be a great way to just make sure that we are getting some really concentrated fruits and vegetables in there. And I'm going to go ahead and just, let's go ahead and mute videos there really quick. All right, just so that we get a clean recording there. So I also agree that it's important for us to get all of the plants in. So I'm going to show you a really nice plant-based breakfast that you can do. You can also make these ahead of time. I'm so curious to try that yummy chocolate pudding that you made there as well. That sounds so good. But this is going to be a really nice brain boosting smoothie that we're going to make here. So I'm using an unsweetened, this is a coconut almond milk. So just a plant-based milk. You always want to make sure that you're getting the unsweetened in those, because a lot of times the stores will be tricky and they'll put at eye level, they'll put the sweetened ones. So just look and make sure you're getting the unsweetened. So we don't need to get any of that added sugar. Let's see if I can, going to use my teeth here. Okay, so my base is going to be a plant-based milk. And I'm just going to put about a cup of milk in there. And this is a great, I made my children, I have 3 daughters. So my oldest is 25, and then I have a 23-year-old and I have a 20-year-old. And I'm telling you, we lived on this almost every day for years and years and years, sending the kids off to school with just some amazing nutrition, getting them into a place where they can focus and have nice, steady blood sugar there. So we've got that milk, that plant-based milk. Now I'm going to put these are just wild blueberries. So these are some frozen wild blueberries. I love to get the organic if possible. I know organic is not always possible. Sometimes these days it seems like we can't even always find everything that we want at the grocery store. But berries are a source, they're a great source of brain and heart health. So we want to be getting a whole variety of berries. We're using blueberries today, but we could also use other kinds of berries as well. So we're getting a nice dose of berries in there. That's going to be like the brain berries. And then I'm using a plant-based protein powder as well. So like Dr. Gold said, it's so important that we do get a good amount of protein in. That's going to keep our blood sugar nice and steady. It's also going to give us the building blocks for all those reactions that our body has to do. So I'm putting a serving. This is just Juice Plus Complete, comes in chocolate and vanilla. This is the one that I've personally been using for decades. And we're getting some extra plant protein in there. Dr. Gold talked about clean, non-GMO soy protein, and that's a wonderful protein source. So I've got that. I'm getting a little extra fiber. You can also add in like powdered peanut butter or some other sources. You don't have to buy a protein pack. There are definitely other sources of plant protein that you can use. Okay, so I've got that in there. And now I'm going to just put a handful of spinach. Spinach is one of there's just baby spinach leaves here, and I'm going to go ahead and start that up. So baby spinach is one of those really easy hacks that you can just really, but like we got a whole serving, a whole extra serving of spinach in there. Spinach actually is going to give our drink that kind of just a little bit of a richer flavor. We're not even going to taste it. So if you have picky eaters, I'll wait until this finishes. So if you have picky eaters, throwing some baby spinach into the bottom of a soup, it can be good. Like on my chili, I like to put a little spinach on the bottom. You can throw it up and just pulverize and disguise really easily and get those extra servings of fruits and vegetables in there. And then I'm going to serve this with a really fun straw too. Let's get fun here. Dr. Gold is talking about if it's fun, it'll get done. I love that. That is so nice. So let's see how it tastes. It is so rich. It tastes like a dessert, actually. So we're going to go out the door, starting our day with a handful of spinach, some brain blueberries, some awesome protein and fiber. And that is just going to get us going to a really successful day. So this is one of those really easy breakfast hacks. It also works great as like an after school snack. You can do that as well. So now what about dinner? What do we do when dinner comes along and we're tired and we're getting back from soccer? We just don't have time. Sometimes it feels like it'd just be easier to run through a drive-through. Well, I'll tell you, it's quicker for me to make this dinner and get this on the table in a fun way than it is to actually get DoorDash or something like that. And it's also a lot more cost effective. So what we're going to do is we're going to make pesto, and we're also going to serve it with some veggie skewers. So that's going to be really fun. So pesto is it's a really nice way to just get some concentrated spices and herbs into our life. And kids love to dip things. So if you're ever trying to introduce a new food, like Dr. Gold was saying, it can take 10 to 15 different tries. Sauces are a good sneaky way, as well as pulverizing and disguising them into a sauce or into a smoothie. That can be another sneaky way. So I've got a food processor here. We could also do this with a blender. Pesto generally is going to require that little bit of kitchen gadgets in having the food processor or a blender. So that is the only thing that I would say about that. And you can actually invest in a really inexpensive blender. I know Target or even online, you can get like I think their Little Oster is the brand, and they're like $21 online. And I think Target has them as well. So those are single serves, and you can use those for making this type of recipe as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a lemon. So with my lemons and limes, I like to kind of roll it a little bit, and that helps to release some of that juice. So we're going to use juice of half of a lime or half of a lemon. We're also going to be using basil. So basil is the star of the show here. Now you might be saying, well, wait, my kids, that has too big of a taste. I don't think my kids are going to like that. You can ease them into some of these new tastes also by just maybe adding a quarter of the 2 cups of basil and maybe add in some spinach with that. So we're getting some greens in here. Now, greens are really helpful for our immune system, especially. And just like berries, we want to get a wide variety of greens because all the different colors, the different types, they all have a different nutrient profile. So we're taking advantage of basil in this, and I've got a little basil plant here. You can get these at your grocery store. You can also have just like a kitchen herb garden, and maybe a terracotta pot with some of your favorite herbs growing. Of course, I've got the tower garden in the back. That's awesome as well. I'll go ahead and put my website in here too, so you can kind of get links to all these things that I'm talking about here. So there's my website. So we're going to use we're actually going to use mostly all of this basil. So I'm just going to go ahead and snip it off. I'm going to continue growing the basil. However, the nice thing about growing these rather than just buying like a little packet is that they're going to grow back. Okay, my basil on my tower garden over there is kind of in its infancy state, so it's not quite ready to harvest, but I'm going to harvest a lot of the basil in here. The type of basil that I'm using here is, excuse me, it's sweet basil. So it's kind of, there's different types of basil. There's Thai basil, which is going to be a little bit more of a little bit more of a dense structure, but you don't have to get fancy about that. Just grab a basil, start growing your basil plant if you can. We're going to take the juice from half a lemon here, and these tend to be a little bit smaller lemons. So I might actually use my whole lemon. That's pretty juicy though. Did you see all that juice coming out? I'm going to just go ahead and pop the other half of that lemon in there because they are a little bit small. I got some organic lemons this time. Maybe you all in Florida are actually growing lemons. I don't even know. Do they grow lemons in Florida? Seems like there's a lot of citrus down there. So that would just be a dream come true if I could have a lemon tree. Well, I do have an indoor lemon tree, but it's only provided me with a very small amount of lemons. Okay, now I'm going to just take a half a teaspoon of salt, and I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. And then I'm going to put in some garlic as well. So I like to just get my organic minced garlic. This makes mincing up garlic super fast and easy. I'm just going to put little half a teaspoon in there of that. And then we're going to use pine nuts. So typically, or not hummus, but typically pesto is made with like a pine nut. Now you can also use walnuts. You could use pecans. Almonds would be, I think almonds would be a little, not quite give us the texture because there's less fat in there. But I'm just going to use these roasted pine nuts. I'm going to take a 1/4 cup and go ahead and put that in there. And then I'm also going to use my extra virgin olive oil. So I love that Dr. Gold told us about healthy fats. And extra virgin olive oil it's great for all your cooking needs. In the Mediterranean, which is the best studied diet in the whole world, they actually use olive oil for everything. So we're going to just go ahead and use our extra virgin olive oil here. And we're going to use a 1/4 cup. So I'm going to pour all that in there. Now, traditionally, our pesto is going to have some Parmesan cheese. We're going for a totally plant-based meal here. So we're not actually going to use Parmesan cheese. Instead, we are going to use nutritional yeast flakes. I like to call it's kind of a big long name. So I like to call these flavor sprinkles in my house. And they are very nutty, give us that kind of rich, deep, yummy umami flavor. So I'm going to use about 3 tablespoons of that in here. And this is going to add some wonderful B vitamins. A lot of times we can get really low on our B vitamins, and that can be important for our energy. So let's go ahead and pop this all together. And we're just going to turn this on. And you're going to see how quickly we're going to end up with this yummy hummus. I'm going to actually make it go a little bit faster there. Okay. Perfect. So we can get this all to the consistency that we like. I like to get a really smooth consistency on my shakes and with my sauces, especially with picky eaters. So you can see this was so fast. I don't even know. We could go back on the recording and see how fast it was, but we basically got our main course of our dinner all ready here. So now let's put together our skewers. And if there's any questions that I'm missing in the chat, please nudge me verbally. I don't want to miss your questions. So let's see if we can get some more fruit and vegetable. Well, maybe not fruit, except actually cherry tomatoes are fruit. So we are technically getting fruit. But let's see if we can get some more of those veggie servings in here. So I've got a nice bell pepper. This is an orange one. I'm going to go ahead and just cut the top off there, and I'm not going to cut the whole thing just in the interest of time, but we're going to cut up a few little bites of this that we can put onto our skewers. So kids typically, if they can have a hand in creating and having some control over what they're eating, a lot of times they'll be a little bit more brave. And then I also have some cooked pasta. So this is just some fun bow tie pasta here that I just pre-cooked. So let's go ahead and assemble our skewers. So I've also got some toothpicks for really little ones. Maybe a toothpick would be more fun to assemble this. So let's go ahead and just take some of this hummus, or not hummus. I don't know why I keep calling it hummus. It's actually pesto. So we're going to take a serving of this pesto and put it into a dish so everybody can get their own little serving dish. And then let's build our skewers. So let's get we're gonna try and get lots of colors in here. So I've got a tomato there. We're gonna put a bell pepper there. Let's definitely get some pasta on here. And one thing that I love about this too is that we're really getting a lot of protein, fat, and fiber in this. We're getting our protein mainly through the shake. So that was a little bit earlier on. But a lot of times our diets are really deplete in that healthy fat and fiber. So we're getting a big dose of that in our plant-based pesto here. And now we're getting some yummy pasta, which is wonderful. It's delicious, but we want to also just make sure that we're getting a balanced diet here, because sometimes kids, it drives me crazy. I know there's one chain where you can just go and order buttered noodles, and I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, that's just a blood sugar nightmare. It's going to spike so much. So I love being able to combine some pasta, which a lot of children really love, but we're also combining it in there with some other foods. So here's a nice little skewer. And then you can also just take some little toothpicks, and we can just kind of make a smaller one here. We can just get a little small mini skewer there, and we can dip it in that pesto. You can also just take your fingers and dip it. You don't even have to have that fancy of a toothpick or anything like that, but just a fun way to get some of this yummy pesto that we traditionally think of just with pasta. And we're getting all these veggies in with it too. So I'll go ahead and take a taste of it. And any questions for any of you?
I was going to say something as well. Susie, thank you for that. I'm excited to taste that someday coming to visit you. But I was going to just mention for those that are busy and maybe not, I know sometimes I'm not the best cook, but just that you can actually buy these foods from the health food stores, or they have meal prep services where they deliver to you to the extent that you want. I know my sister has all the ingredients delivered, and all she has to do is combine. The kids
just pop them together.
Exactly.
It's as simple as that. Yes.
Yeah, so she, because sometimes some recipe calls for just a small amount of this or that, and now she has everything. She doesn't have to go to the store to just buy a select amount of, because sometimes you have to buy it in bulk, or a big amount of parsley, and you only need a small amount for this recipe. So it just makes it easier when it comes together.
Well, just another mention is our Back to Basics program. So Back to Basics is, we meet twice a month, families on Zoom, so you can be anywhere, but you're in your own kitchen getting those ingredients. We've got some great just cards that kind of go through basic tools and kitchen safety, and this pesto recipe and pizza and shakes and all kinds of combinations on there come along with that. So I'll go ahead and put a link to that in here. And then also let's just open it up for any more questions that we might have as well. So thank you so much for that.
Yes, I do have a few questions as well, Susie.
Absolutely. Let me go ahead and add those spotlights, and I'm going to just share my screen and show that QR code to kind of learn more about the Back to Basics program as well. Awesome. So there you go.
Thank you.
All right. Yes. Tell me, ask away. Any questions that anyone has?
Yes. Okay. So the first question is, what are some simple ways to start eating healthier without feeling overwhelmed?
Yes. So that's a question geared towards me.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think start small, like start with one meal. Think about, what is there a particular time in the day? I mean, we talked today about breakfast and dinner. Maybe your time of the day where you kind of get snacky or just feel a little bit like you fall off the intentionality of your eating, maybe snacking type things like that. So if you think about just that one time of the day, and what can you maybe do to prep for that? Maybe it's boiling some eggs on Sunday so that you can take some of those to work with you, or maybe it's having a shake and saving part of it for later on, or prep batch cooking and freezing. I know Dr. Gold talked about that, and that can be a really great way to leverage your time. If you're going to make soup, make a double batch and freeze half of it. I've got a couple of great soups in my freezer right now. So those are some places to start, just one change at a time, one simple thing.
Yeah, and I would also say the overnight oats have been a savior because sometimes I
Oh,
have the steel cut and then you takes about 40 minutes. And if you're kind of on the go or rushing to get somewhere in the morning or you don't want to wake up so early, you can just put the oats together, you let it stay overnight and then literally just I put it in my cup to go. And the same with the smoothies. I love what you were mentioning too. They have the little blender cups that you can just,
hmm
and they
You can
have the
take the whole blender with you. Yes.
exactly. And you can leave it at work. I've had folks who actually travel for work and they're in Arizona or different places. So you can actually buy kind of these kits that already have all the vegetables or the fruit together, the frozen fruit. And then you keep
Pop
it
it
wherever
in
you're
there.
at. If they have a little fridge or you can ask, can I keep a fridge, or if you're working from home and you just put it together before you're about to get a snack or you need something quick, you can just make your little smoothie together, and it's just a nice dessert. Or the overnight oats are prepped, and then you can just eat that, or those egg souffles. I know I cook that for the week, and we'll literally just have
Yes.
one egg with some scoop of vegetables, whether that's spinach leaves or pepper, and it's so easy and simple. You put them in,
So easy and so inexpensive, right?
save money too. And again, you can have somebody help you
Absolutely.
with this if you need to I know they have eggs in different stores where I've just purchased a boiled egg before. So those are some options if people are
Yeah,
willing.
those are some great ideas. Thank you for those additions too. Yeah, the overnight oats are amazing. And you can freeze those too.
I know they're so good. And I
Hmm
love popsicles. Honestly, for me now, I used to be really sneaky with my nieces and nephews, but now I tell them and I just now
You're
share and
like, guess what
educate.
you're eating?
Well,
Yes.
that's what I say, but it's not in a bad way. I think they take the example from us. So even if you don't like something, I would suggest remember the 10 to 15 time rule. So ask it upon yourself. Did I actually try this 10 to 15 times? If you haven't, just try it and keep trying it, because your taste buds do change with time. And as you become healthier, your taste buds get more accustomed to certain flavors and foods. So you'll actually be more likely to like a food that you might not have liked before. So that can make a huge difference.
Great tips, great additions
And I
there.
did want to share one more thing about greens. So remembering that the in dark greens, they're made of chlorophyll. That's the dark green part of it. It's similar to our hemoglobin, and that's why they call it like a blood plant. It's almost increasing, or like hemoglobin carries oxygen because of that chlorophyll. When we consume it, it helps to boost up that oxygen in our bodies too. So we feel more blood flow to our bodies. That's why we get more energized with dark greens, especially in a smoothie or
Ooh,
adding it to a
great
meal.
tip.
So really
Wow, I
good.
did not know that, Dr. Gold. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah, and it's cancer fighting. So a lot of those 8 to 10, do your best. So if you're only at 1 or 2, that's okay. See if you can go to 3 or 4. So start to up your amounts. And again, baby steps, always something is better than nothing.
Very good.
You got it there.
Mhm.
Well, I don't see any other questions in the chat. Dr. Gold, Dr. Gigi, thank you so much for being here today. Your input is invaluable. You're a positive force in the world, and I am so proud to get to be alongside with you. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. We love being here. Mwah.
Thank you. God bless.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.